The 20th century Catholic reform movement, known as Call to Action, draws inspiration from the unorthodox ideas of the Dominican friar Tommaso Campanella, who lived centuries earlier. Despite facing threats of heresy charges during his lifetime, Campanella's criticisms of corruption within the Catholic Church and his calls for reform have resonated throughout history, sparking progressive change. In the 16th and 17th centuries, Campanella boldly denounced the greed, secular power, and lack of spirituality he observed among the clergy. He advocated for a return to a simpler and purer form of the Church, emphasizing pastoral service and care for the poor. Campanella also stressed the importance of education for both the clergy and the masses, recognizing that ignorance fostered irreligiosity while knowledge was essential for genuine spirituality. Campanella's reformist ideas challenged the authority of the Pope and questioned the concept of papal infallibility. He believed that church leaders were fallible and regarded church councils as the true voice of the Church. Additionally, Campanella advocated for a greater separation between the Church and the state, envisioning more autonomy for temporal rulers independent of papal control. While remaining steadfast in his Christian faith, Campanella's openness to astrology and natural philosophy led to accusations of heresy by the Inquisition. However, he saw no conflict between faith and science, instead viewing theology and emerging scientific knowledge as avenues for intellectual revitalization within the Church. This interdisciplinary approach foreshadowed later reform movements. In the 20th century, the progressive call to action movement embraced Campanella's reformist ideals. Confronting institutional corruption and striving to redirect the Church's focus towards justice and service, Call to Action sought similar reforms to those advocated by Campanella. Like Campanella, activists within the movement challenged rigid hierarchy and called for decentralization, democratization, and greater inclusion of the laity, particularly women. Notably, Call to Action also encouraged the Church to engage with modern perspectives, supporting academic freedom in theology and promoting dialogue with the sciences and secular society. Campanella's openness to integrating new spiritual and intellectual perspectives foreshadowed the spirit of this modern movement. Across the centuries, Campanella's dissenting voice not only survived persecution but also influenced subsequent calls for inclusive and progressive transformation within Catholicism. His example of reform highlights the significance of principled criticism and self-examination for spiritual renewal. Despite being labeled a heretic, Campanella's willingness to engage with emerging ideas and speak out against corruption planted the seeds for future reform movements, including Call to Action. By urging the Church to strive for its highest ideals, Campanella's legacy continues to inspire positive change. Dear friends, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed our podcast. Take care, and please don't forget to subscribe.